Oh, the drum quit. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is the Monday night live stream. We do it at 7 o'clock. I'm sorry if my camera is maybe off a little. I'm not 100% sure, but I had that camera off of the perch last week when I did the live stream in the paint booth. I did the interactive Bodywork live stream. So I think it's okay. I feel like I'm a little off center, but it may be just me. So anyway, it's Monday night live stream where we talk about mostly cars, Mustangs, Camaros, Pontiacs, Mopars, whatever comes to mind. We try to answer questions for people and, keep things moving along. And we have a pretty good group that show up every Monday night. And, if somebody has a question, we can answer it. Typically, you get a little bell if you answer it correctly. And if I can't answer the question, then I have over there in the chat box people that usually have a good answer for some of these questions. I can't tell if I'm out of focus or my eyes are out of focus. It looks like I'm okay, but that's debatable, I guess. So again, welcome to the live stream. I have some people checking in already. Bob Knoll was here early. Glad you're here, Bob. I'll give you the first Bob bell since you were the first one in. Terry Keithley checking in. Jerry, Middle Tennessee. Yep, Middle Tennessee. Crash Rider, Southern Indiana. Gordon Cahoon. Nice day up here in Pocono. Hope yours is too. Yeah, it's been a pretty decent day, but it's going downhill. It's going to be raining on us probably tonight. David and Cheryl checking in. Hi, Barry and everyone. Sorry, we have not been on trying to get our truck fixed so other vehicle can go in to get fixed as well. And it's just Cheryl tonight. Dave is at work. Okay. David is at work. So I don't know if I can give you a bell for that. I mean, David and Cheryl, but it's just Cheryl. So I don't know if I can give you the first David bell. Jack W checking in. Bob Shoemaker from Windy, Oklahoma. 64.5 Stang. Shane checking in. Time to car chat. Ish. Hello from New York. Glad you're here. Bad Harry checking in from Canada. Glad you're here. Chris Greenaway. Getting 30-minute coffee break before night shift. Glad you're here. Fast and Furious from Ohio. Caden Michael. Mopar or no car. Hello from a very tropical Kansas. So that sounds great. Harvey checking in from sunny New Jersey. Awesome. Richard Byrne. Beautiful work on the Mustang day. Yep, sounds like it. Terry Pattison. Hey, Barry, checking in from Chesapeake, Virginia. Caden, she can get the first Cheryl bell. Good point. She gets the first Cheryl bell. Clark. Awesome, man. Thank you for that. Appreciate that very much. Very, very much. Yeah. I am the only Cheryl. Yes, you get a bell. Nick Moss checking in. And Daniel Shader. Glad you're here, Dan. And Rick Stevenson checking in. Cool. Very good. Very good. Okay. Like I said, last Thursday, I did the live stream from the back garage. I took a little configuring. I had to make an extended Ethernet cable so that I could take the laptop in the back, so I could hook the HDMI cable to the laptop so that I could do all the cabling things you need to do for us to be here. It worked out. It did, and it was fun. And I may try to do more of that in the future. I'm undecided at the moment, but I think it's been a positive thing. I think the challenge is going to be, what do I put into those type of live streams? Now, I did hear that Bad Chad, I think he's been doing some sort of a live stream build, and I don't know exactly what I haven't followed him, so I don't know exactly what he's doing. But I had thought about that as well. How hard would it be to set up? Now, he's got a staff of people too. He has people working there for him and with him. But I wondered how hard it would be or reasonable it would be to have a camera just set up. I've done it one time before where I was working on one of the Mustangs right here, changing out the engine or something. And I had the camera set up high, and it works to a point, but how long do you run something like that? Is it an hour, couple hours? What can you accomplish? You run it all day? Would that be reasonable? I don't know. So that's where my challenges are. How do I manage it to make it practical to be able to do stuff like that? So let me see who else we have here. Rick Gain. Am I the first Rick here tonight? Nope. Rick Stevenson beat you by one, by just like probably 30 seconds. So no. 777 Smitty checking in. Chris, us car guys know how to know. Let's see. You know how to spend your paycheck on parts and get them through the next payday to get more parts. Rinse, repeat. Yes. Caden, I am unfortunately checking in with a fractured toe, but I'm doing fine. I like the video you posted last, Barry. Okay. The video I posted last. The car video, the trip to Texas, I guess that would be the last one. I don't know. Or the live stream. Winged Warrior, another Dave checking in, and Caden's commenting. Okay, so I guess Winged Warrior, I think, is technically the first Dave. Technically, so we'll give you a Dave bell for that. Let me see. Okay, all right. Yeah, don't forget to hit thumbs up, Dave and Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, so anyway, some new things are going on, new things happening. Again, the Stray Pony went to Texas. So from my understanding, he's going to be sending it to the body shop. Like, I don't know if he sent it this week or next week. He's ready to get it finished up and, do some things with it. So hopefully that goes well for him. Joseph, evening question. How would you suggest treating the inside of a 65 Mustang with a new cowl? What I did on the ones that I put in, I have a video on it. I've done several things. I have treated the chimneys. Let's say I put seam sealer around the base of the chimneys, or the stack internally, so that you don't get water collecting at that seam. So that's one thing I do. And then from there, it's up to you. You can add various types of paint. If you use anything, it's like a chassis saver or Pour 15, know that it's not UV. You have UV problems with that. So typically what I do, I may spray it with like a Rust-Oleum type of material, scuff it up real good and spray Rust-Oleum on it and just coat it nice and heavy. And then, because Rust-Oleum is pretty durable. I mean, that's a tough paint. And then from there, whatever gets in from your overspray of painting, the panel. But consider this, whenever you're dealing with these cowls, everybody is concerned about the cowl rusting out, and they should be. But you have to know or realize that the cowl that was in that car was 40, 50 years old whenever you cut it out. It was already, rusted out. And that cowl had nothing. They didn't do anything to that. They didn't put any primer. They just put it together, put it on the car, and said, good luck. And it lasted a very, very, very long time. So just doing a little bit will make that thing last forever. Don't get too concerned with, I got to, layer it with this and put all this and blah, blah, blah. No, because odds are, I would venture to say 99% of the Mustangs restored are not going to be driven every day. Or they're not going to be driven in the rain. They're not going to be driven in snow. They're not like these cars when they were new. That's what they did. They used them. That was their commuter vehicle. So they were abused from day one. But now we kind of cherish these cars and vehicles. So we take care of them. We don't put them out in the weather. We don't let them get dirty and messy and all that sort of thing. So that's what I recommend. So think of it that way. Chris, Barry, why do projects always come up when you're so focused on a current garage project? I have more on that to come. We'll talk about that in just a second. I can't tell if there's dust on this lens. Maybe not. Yep, Dave, you got the bell. Caden, did you get the splitter figured out yet? No, I did not. And I've not gotten back to that point yet. I'm forcing myself to continue block sanding. I mean, if you've done it, it takes, block sanding is not exciting. I mean, it's really not. It's time consuming, it's tedious, and you don't really, I don't think many people look forward to it. Like, oh, it's time to block sand. Yay. So I'm getting that stuff done, and I'm close. I have the cowl left to sand out, and the tail panel, and a little body filler on the passenger side door where I found some dings, and then I think that's going to be it. And then the next step, of course, as I probably mentioned, is seam sealer. I've got to seam seal everything, tape it up, and get it in primer. So I've got video of block sanding. Again, it's not exciting, but it has to happen. So I have video of that. I'll make some videos on the seam sealing, and I may stop on that, maybe, because I know people want to see how I mask up a car and stuff like that. So I may have to spread that out and make it be you do the final block sanding and then do the seam seal and make maybe that the end of that video, and then next video mask it, get it in another coat of primer, and go from there. So that's kind of where I'm at. Let's see. So Dave, I did seam sealer, then epoxy, then top coats on the inside of my cowl. Yes, that works. Chris, how's a cow going to rust when most of our toys are in a shop? Live in a shop. Exactly. Infidel. I seam sealed and epoxy primer, then sprayed Rust-Oleum as well. There you go. Good answer. Caden. I just want to make an important announcement. Guys, May is coming fast. During May, that's when we all see the most severe weather. I just want to remind you all to be prepared. If you have a bag, he's going to more attached to that. Make sure it has 3 days of food, water, and means of fire. That's good advice, actually. That is good advice. It's always good to have prepared items set up. Dave Conville, Dave number 2, at least 2, maybe 3. I don't know. At least one of the Daves. Yep. Infidel. I live in Houston. Good old hurricane weather coming soon. Yep. Winged Warrior. Ooh. It's time for a root canal or block sanding. Actually, I've had a root canal, and it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. So, Scott, is it mean to have grandkids shake paint cans till a ball, I guess, quits rattle? I'm going to say no, it's not. Not mean. Chris, how are we doing, Barry? I haven't heard a rant in a while. Well, yeah, I'm not sure you want to hear my rants necessarily. But let me get some coffee. May talk about that. Infidel's a game. Who makes it stop first? Yeah. Harvey, finished my front seat today in Tina the Mustang. That's Quarantina. The TMI kit from CD Pony worked well. I would definitely give a good review. Well, good. You just did. Trunk Monkey. Dang, it's getting harder to get parts into Canada. Open the U.S.-Canadian border. Yeah. Tony, I was just talking about you. Glad you're here. Dan Martin, I'm in California. Half the products you use, I can't. That sucks. But that's the price you pay living in California. And we all know that. It's difficult. Let's see. BK Woods. Hi, Barry. Glad you're here. Anyway. Yeah, Tony, we were mentioning about the stray pony going into the body shop. I don't know if we got there yet. You can, if you want to update, that's fine. Okay. So the question was also about the splitter on the 68 on Jade, that front air dam thing. I didn't get there yet. So I got to get the fenders back on the car, get the valance on, and then see if that thing is going to work. And then I don't know what I'm going to do, because I don't want to have to fight with it. But man, I like the looks of it. So I may have to, just another little thing that you have to deal with, you know? Shane, what is the secret to getting the small pinhole sanded out of the body filler? Frustrating. Well, okay. Probably the biggest secret, and I don't know what kind of filler you're using. Good body filler first. That's first. Secondly, thorough mix. And I've said it before, and people have I've mixed it. I have done this, and you can do it. I'm not saying 100% do it, but I'm just saying you can do it. Is I've mixed a little lacquer thinner in the filler. It helps smooth it out. You know, again, I've had people say don't do that. I've had other people have done it for years and never had an issue. I haven't had any problems. So it's up to you. But and then whenever you apply it, you have to press it pretty good into the gaps. What I normally do and it starts with applying, as far as getting rid of the pinholes, because there's air bubbles or something in it, and when you spread it across, those air bubbles are going to stay in there. Whereas, I might press it in pretty hard on the first swipe and then build a couple of layers on top of that while I'm in the same swipe, let's say, and try to get those air bubbles out. From there, once you expose the air bubbles, then it's back to mixing a small amount of filler or dolphin glaze, something like that, and pressing it into those holes. Unfortunately, that's how it works. So let's see. Drag Boss. Hey, Joe Daddy. Great channel at Drag Boss. Well, thank you for that. Glad you're here. Infidel living in California is known to cause cancer. Yep. Chris Trunk Monkey, if you're looking for a Camaro. Okay, so he's talking to Trunk Monkey there. Yes, Cade Michael. I know. I said it. Bad Harry. Barry, need your pinhole installation location on the firewall for my PCM for the Coyote. I sent a picture with the location where I want to cut hole, worried about interference with AC inside. Okay. So we may have to look into that. Here, I need to pose this question first. I need to throw this question out there because I sent this email earlier today. Before I get into that, Bad Harry, I was sent this email earlier today, and I told him I would bring this up. I'm going to read you the question. It says, "Hi Barry, can you please bring up a topic of why might my headers be glowing red after first startup? Thank you in advance." Okay. Why might my headers be glowing red after first startup? So I don't have a good answer for that. And I'm sure somebody does. But the point is, his headers apparently are getting hot rather quick. So if anybody has any insight onto that, he's going to watch this as a replay later. And we'll see. We'll see what people come up with. John MC sent me a funny picture. I'll download that. That was pretty funny. Let me see where we're at. Okay. And then Bad Harry sent me a picture. I'll have to get that up there. And I think I got an email from Ish. I think. I'll download those pictures too, real quick. Okay. I know there's people chatting on the side, and I'll try to keep up with what's what, but I know it's tough because I know it's going to scroll past me. So let me see if I can get those pictures up real quick. And this one's pretty funny. This one's pretty funny. Ready? Every mechanic in America this week, that'll be $1,400. That's pretty funny. I'm going to leave that up for just a minute while I download these other pictures. So I want to see what Bad Harry is talking about with his PCM location. Okay. So the only thing I could see that interfering with, and if you want to talk about it tonight, we can, or we can talk about it on the side. Right behind. Well, that's under the cowl. I don't know if there's much there. I'd have to take a better look at my car to see. That'll be $1,400. Thank you. That's pretty funny. We'll look at that, Bad Harry, and see what comes up there. Let's see. Tony took Stray Pony to paint Saturday. They were amazed how straight it was. Hope it turns out good. Well, like I said, I know there's a few little things that need to be done to it, and I hope they understand that and they can address whatever little issues there may be. But yeah, that car, I've said that car was in incredible shape. So, anyway, I'm glad you got it and it's going to the shop and going to get something done. All right. So, Caden, did you know that if you're on the highway and you're in a Prius and you stick your hand out the window, you'll turn into the median? Yeah, I do that. I know that now. Depends which. I guess if you're driving, that's if you're driving. If you're a passenger, maybe you'll change lanes faster. Infidel. Bad hair had mounted under the battery tray, kind of a stock location for a Mustang PCM. That may work, but I don't think his battery tray is going to be up front though. Rusty's Mustang Garage. What filler spreaders do you suggest? Typical auto parts store spreaders or something else? Well, I've tried. I have the typical yellow. I don't use the like if you get the clean sheets, they send you the yellow spreader paddle. So I've used the yellow ones, and I've had good results with those. There are the tan ones. They're not quite as good. And I bought some the other day because, and I'll show you this. I bought some, a few weeks ago because I saw Wally using these on his 68 convertible build. And they're metal. And I thought, I'll give these a shot. Well, I struggle with these because they're almost too flimsy for my use. Looked like Wally had a great time with these, and it comes like 5 in a pack or something. I have them on Amazon. So I tried it, and it just doesn't feel right to me. I'm so used to those yellow ones that that's all I really use. So, you almost have to test out what works for you and go from there. But I've gotten so used to the yellow ones, on everything that I do. Chris, I buy from the sister. Okay, talk about the buying parts. Infidel talking about the headers turning, red. Running lean can cause hot exhaust or a restriction in the exhaust. So that's a good point. 777 says possibly a rich fuel mixture. I guess you're thinking maybe it's so rich that it's pushing past, going past the valve and burning in the header. I'm assuming that's what you're thinking. I don't know. That's all the information I have on it. So, but those are, obviously could be choices. Leonard, evening all from cold, windy, and snowy high desert. Well, I'm glad you're having that, not us. I don't want any more snow. No more cold. I'm done with that. Glad you're here, Leonard. Dave, I think that's Dave number 3, DIY guy. Glad you're here. Chris, lack of air in and lean / rich fuel mixture. Well, it's got to be something. It sounds. We know it's got to be some sort of a fuel ratio, something going on there. I would say definitely, because that's what's happening. It's burning gas, exhausting. So something is happening on. Infidel says rich actually cools, lean burns holes in things. Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. Lean makes more sense to me, but I was thinking that maybe he's considering, but the fuel going past and burning in the header, it would burn. So I don't think it would burn and make a hot spot. So the lean makes more sense to me. Henry, hello from Blairsville, Georgia. And I guess is that Sosaby? Glad you're here. All right, so Trunk Monkey and Chris are conversing. Harvey, sounds like it is running very rich to generate that much heat. See, that's what I'm saying. It sounds, you know. Oh, I don't. He didn't give me much more information on that, so I don't know if he could say it's consuming a lot of fuel, if it's got, exhaust, a lot of fumes coming out the back, but it's got to be something with the fuel. And I don't know what kind of carburetor he has on it. Those are all things that come into play. Let's see. They're back and forth. Dan Martin, I'm replacing the complete cowl panel and firewall on my 70 Shelby convertible. The Dynacorn firewall is sticking about 3/8 inches to 1/2 inches too high, and that gap is across the two outside panels. Somebody else had that. I had a conversation with somebody who had a similar problem with, I think it was a 69 or 70 that they were working on, and they said it was sticking. Let's see, you're saying 3/8 to 1/2 inch too high, and that gap is across the two outside panels. And I forget what we were talking about it, and then they responded back and says, "Oh, I figured it out." And they never gave me an answer. What did you figure out? But if it has a gap across the two panels, well, then it sounds like, something has to be tweaked there. If the Dynacorn panel isn't sitting properly, so something, either it's tooled to fit a different side panel, or something to that effect. I actually did a video years ago on putting a cowl in a 70 fastback. It's on the channel. I can't tell you if it covers the details that you need to know, but you can check that out if you like, and maybe that'll help. If anybody else has any information for Dan, by all means, please share. Nick, well, it's a good thing I have 1,403 cents in the bank. Yeah. Rick, headers are glowing due to timing being retarded. I've been there, done that. So that's a very good point, Rick. The timing it needs to be advanced. Good point. Bad Harry, check is in the mail. Thank you for that. Let's see. Bob Shoemaker. I got a bunch. All right. So somebody's got to help me out here and get rid of whoever this fool is. Let me see here. Let me just see if I can fix that. So I'm seeing a bunch of garbage. I hope somebody got that out of there for me. Because I just tried to block them. I don't know where they're at. So hopefully somebody cleaned that up. Thank you, for keeping an eye on that, please. Bob, are they breaking cam in or first startup? I usually always had glow on headers on our dirt track motors on break-in. That's a good point too. Infidel says he would agree with Rick. Rick Stevenson, yes, mine were glowing during cam break-in. Okay, that's a good point. I didn't get that information. 64, I'm using Evercoat, but not the Rage. I'm a mechanic and welder, not a bodywork pro by any means. Okay. Well, Evercoat's the way to go, but if you can get the better, I got a fly in here, and he's all over my, look at this. What's he doing? Get out of here. But you can still get good results with just a plain filler. Let's see. David Sherrill, going to have to get some stuff done. Hope everyone stays safe and have a good night. Well, glad you were here. Let's see. 777. Don't stir body filler. Spread to mix. Reduce air trapping and filler. That is a good point. And to demonstrate that, I've actually done it a little bit of both. But I use these clean sheets, right? You can see evidence of the last process that I did. So whenever I'm doing this, I may put my filler. Let me get that off of there. I may put, a puddle of filler here, and then just put the hardener across the top. And then what I normally do is kind of do a swirl and I'm going to press it out, pile it up, press it down, swirl, pile it up, press it down, kind of thing. At the start, I may do a little bit of a mix, but not like a fast where you can get air bubbles in there. But I'll continue to press it out until I see a uniform color all the way across. And so that's how I do it. Good point. Who said that? 777? Get a bell for that. Paul, after watching videos about repair panels for my vehicle, not a classic or a car, still needs rust repair. Cool. Denny, pull the plugs and analyze the plug since the header is red. Good point. Bad Harry, check the timing. If off, can result in gas burning in the exhaust manifold. Yes. Good job. Thank you, Dave, for taking care of that. Tony, I'm not sure if anyone is as meticulous as you, but I'm hoping. Well, I hope they do a good job on the car. Okay. I got another clown showing up. Great. Oh gosh. All kinds of garbage showing up. Sorry guys. I don't know why they're doing this. They need more help. All right. And now I see this. I can't. I'm having trouble getting them out of my feed. So anyway, Dan Martin, I think the bend that is between the kick panel and the front of the firewall is not tight enough. I think that the gap would go away. His bend was tighter and firewall scooted forward against torque. Okay. So I don't know if you've put in the put in new panels or if you're dealing with the original panels. So that might be go away. Yeah. Well, take a look at the 70 video and see if that helps. Nick, that's a drone, not a flyberry. Start speaking in Pig Latin. Yeah, Thomas English, sorry. I don't know what's going on. These sick people out there. Yeah, well, Rick, I may have to add another mod because this is, I don't know who these clowns are, but it's ruining the whole thing here. And if it keeps up, I mean, obviously they need attention. You know, they need help, but I'm hoping that we can get this straightened out. And I hate it for my mods who have to sit here and try to keep up with it. 68 Mustang, Wally. I hate this stuff. Even on my channel, I get comments with links to crap. Yeah, I've been running into that a lot lately. That I've had people comment and then somebody else follows it up and says, you know, it worked. You know, some sort of garbage they put on there. So, let's see. Hey, Barry, I'm getting ready to replace the front driver. Replace the front driver rail besides measuring 15 times any device for alignment and attachment. It seems the attachment is iffy at best. Measure 15 times and test fit pieces. I mean, if you have to clamp everything together, I test fit all the pieces to make sure everything lines up and fits the way it should. And we're dealing with a bunch of people, a bunch of clowns on here. Thomas English should do a Facebook group and live on there. Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should just do it. But there's probably a lot of people here that are not on the Facebook. So Seamus Johnson is checking in. I am glad you're here. Let me see if, and I hate to even step away for a moment. Let me see if I can. Again, I apologize for having to even deal with this, but I may have to add. Okay, so Trunk Monkey says, yeah, this is a car. Wow, this is a car lover show. Trolls, you're on the wrong channel. Yes. Chris, got to have fun. Let's get these Cortinas on the road ASAP. Yes, definitely. Thomas English, that's true. Yes. Fast and Furious, I'm restoring my 69 Chevelle. The front fenders have little dings across the top. Would you fill them in or dolly them out? Yes. If you can dolly them out, you're better off. But if it's like hail damage, you're going to be in for a lot of work. The simple fix, get it to bare metal, put epoxy on it, and skim coat the whole top of the fender. Just skim coat the whole the top of the fender with filler, and then block sand it down until you start to see color change within the panel, and that should take care of your little, the little dents and stuff. So, Rage, maybe you're being cancel cultured. You're famous, I'm guessing. Yeah, maybe. Dr. Boom, hey, sorry I'm late. I'm one that's not on Facebook. I understand that. Bad Harry, take lots of pictures also when putting back together. Yeah, I'm sure I'm not sure what. Oh, talking about Rage. Yeah, when we were doing all the fitment. Rick A, no need to apologize, Barry. We know it isn't your fault. Yeah, I know. And I'm just trying to see, it's just, and that's just society today. Everybody wants to just disrupt life and make it difficult for everybody else. Let me see if I can let me just check real quick. See if I can. I don't know if I can pull this off while we're doing this. Yeah, probably not gonna be able to do that while I'm streaming, because I have several moderators and they do a good job. But if they get overwhelmed, it's tough. It's tough. Dave Britton, glad you're here. Awesome. That's a Dave number 4, I think, for tonight. Dan Martin, torque boxes have a 3/8 inch gap from firewall. Firewall sits 3/8 inch to a 1/2 inch above the level of the two outside panels that are supposed to be level with the firewall. The bend has to be wrong. It moved forward. Okay. Torque boxes have 3/8 inch gap from firewall. Firewall sits above the level of two outside panels that are supposed. Oh yeah, you've got some issues going on there. You definitely have some issues going on there. I wish I could offer you more advice or more help. So let's see. Paul. Oops. Still getting more clowns. Man. More clowns. I'm so sorry. Where are we at? Okay, so I was trying to click on Paul and I accidentally hit the other thing. Paul, what's the lifespan of body filler once open? A long, long time. You can. My can here is probably a year old. Just a matter of keeping it airtight, sealing it up between runs, and occasionally mixing it. Make sure you mix it, because it could develop a separation. And you mix it in the bottom, get everything pulled together. Nick, did you work long hours at your old job, or was it an 8-hour thing? I asked because I'm fighting for the energy to work on the car anymore. Work should have slowed, but didn't. I actually was working 12-hour shifts on weekends. So, I'd have the week to do things. And so 12-hour shifts is what I worked. But of course, if I back up in time and I say, when I was working, had the body shop, I was working Monday through Tuesday through Friday at the body shop full time, and then I'd work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12-hour shifts at my regular job. And when I wasn't doing that, I was out here doing this stuff. So it's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep things, in perspective sometimes. I mean, I understand. Even I get tired of doing certain things. Crash Rider, some people are so unhappy with their lives that they want to try to make everyone else miserable too. Yes, that is correct. Tony, for Tylenol. Thank you. I'm going to need that after tonight. Bunch of sick people out there. Donald Rice. Hi, Barry, from Jeanette, Pennsylvania. I'm glad you're here. Rage, on that frame rail is the only attachment where the front rail sits in the underbody U-channel and held together by the aprons. Well, you're going to have your attachment point is in your floor support, attaches to the firewall. It comes forward. You've got the cross piece nose, and then if you're going with stock suspension, you're going to have the strut brace that holds the strut rod. Two of those in the corners. So, yeah. I don't know if you're going with stock suspension or not. Nick, it's really hard to do a day job and come home to do more of the same. Could be just me, I guess. No, I understand it. It is. Jorge, hi, Barry. Hi, gang. And Dave's. Gordon Cahoon, some people are just handicapped from the neck up. Yeah. Trunk Monkey, yeah, skip over. I'm trying to skip over, but if I get 50 of them, I can't see what's going on, and I have to block them or time them out or something and get them out of my visual. Let's see. Wayne Warrior says, hi, Jorge. Dan Martin, would you recommend replacing entire wheelhouse on a 1970 Shelby convertible or just the rusty outside wheelhouse? All the underside bracing and under quarters and filler I have to replace. That's a tough question because I've done both, not in a convertible, but I've done both where I've done the full wheelhouse and I've done it where I've pieced them in. And what I found is typically the ones that I would buy that were the new outer didn't match the original inner. The shape was wrong. Like it just didn't work. So I ended up like in Mystique. I sectioned the outer wheelhouse to match the inner wheelhouse and fit the quarter panel. Now, if you buy a new complete one, does that mean it's going to be right? I don't know. So you run into, it seems like they make a set that are the outers that are independent, and then they make the inner and outer that are made in the same plant and they match each other, or else they squeeze them together somehow and make them fit. But if you could save the original inside piece, I would, and try to either modify an outer, to make it work. It's probably your best bet. Alan, hello from the UK. Glad you're here. It's getting late in the night. Must be very late at night for you. Thomas English, I've been working my butt off also, and I hope we get back to the 6.7 Mustang next week since I'm outside warrior. Haha. Yeah, outside does not sound like fun. Crash Rider, 64 and a half. I misclicked. I can only work on a Mustang on Saturdays, so it's a slow process. Yeah, that's understandable. Let me show you these other pictures. I believe they were sent to me by Ish. I believe. And, I didn't pull them up yet. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me get those in here. And we have to wait for the little dial thing to get the picture processed. And wait for me to click. And hope that no clowns show up while I'm doing this. The song goes, send in the clowns, right? Yeah, don't bother, they're here. The email that I got for this was, says, the car sat for 2 years. I installed a new fuel pump and smacked the carb to loosen it up, poured some gas in it and the carb, and she fired right up. It's channels like yours that help us take care of our classics. Thanks. Okay. So let me show you this. That's pretty cool. That's a, what year is that? That's not 60. It's not a 64. It's got to be like a 63. Look at the front here. That's a nice looking car. The Thunderbirds were really cool. All of them were really cool up until early 70s, I think. Then they kind of lost their uniqueness. But that car looks, spaceship at the pointed front end. That's a nice car. I like that a lot. That's a really nice car. I'd drive that. Let's see. That's okay. Henry. Hi again. Need some work on my 66 Mustang panels, quarters, such. Can you help? I don't know. Maybe. That's my default answer. Maybe. The hard part is finding time to even finish what I'm doing. So send me an email. Maybe we can talk about it. We'll see. Rage, thanks for the insight. Barry, jumping off now. Keep up the great work. Great. Glad you're here. Dan Martin, wheelhouse is in a convertible is beaten down for convertible top. So I had to beat it back up so the two flanges met, welded, and beat back down. Wheelhouse is nightmare to separate because of heavy bead welding. Yes, it is. And that's why when I did the Mystique one, I actually, if I remember, I know I cut the outer wheelhouse in half, and I think I actually sectioned off the part of the welded flange and used the original flange, pieced it in, and I mocked everything up with the quarter panel. So it was all where it was supposed to be, and I tacked it, pulled the quarter off, and then welded everything back together. SB, I want to do a Hellcat engine swap into a 69 Charger. Nobody's stopping you. Go ahead. Ish, it's a 62. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's 62. That's a sharp car. It really is. I can't see what color the interior is, but I'm guessing it's like a silver blue. That's kind of the color scheme they went with back then. Man, that car almost looks new. I like the wheels. Nice car-ish. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Wally, beautiful car back when you knew what was coming up behind you just from those nose and headlights. Yes. Dave, is this one of the T-Birds with the sequential taillights? I don't think so. I think that one's going to have, I think they're round taillights in that, but I'm not sure. Good question. I'm sure Ish can tell us. That T-Bird looks clean. Yes, Ish. No sequential lights. Round tail lights. Looks like a rocket. I guess right. Bad Harry. I try to get one full day every week, but always something happens. Last weekend ran on MIG-wire about an hour into the day. Yeah. I try to get in what I can every day, but sometimes I get distracted. And sometimes I'm just, again, it's time to block sand. Yay. Wayne Warrior, very cool T-Bird. Yes. Dave Conville. The turbine lights. Nice car-ish. Yeah, it does. It reminds me of the turbine car. Jan, hi Barry, please ignore these pathetic people. I live in the Netherlands. Our government is working on a new bill which will make it impossible, makes it not possible to be anonymous in chat groups anymore. Wow, that's interesting. Thank you for that, Jan. It's just the difficulty is I see them on the side and I can't, if they put 50 posts, I can't see what everybody else is saying until they're gone. Rick Ain, did you ever do any work with an English wheel to fab parts? I did. Not much, but I did. I was at the body shop, 65 Galaxy 500 convertible. I had to rebuild the bottom of the quarter panels, and I did take metal and form it. I'm no pro at it, but I was able to get the curve that I needed and then get it on the car. So, Ish, you're welcome. Nick, Bad Harry, I don't even want to talk to you about it. You're like a one-man assembly line. Yeah, he is doing a great job on that fastback. Camaro for life. Hi, my dad restored his old Camaro that has been sitting for 30 years. Is a 5.7 Vortec a good engine for the car? Please help. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I mean, it depends on what he wants to do with it. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with a 5.7. It's basically just a 350 with modern heads or more modern heads on it. So yeah, it's a good engine. 62 Dave Britton, 62 T-Bird had an incredible interior, very cool. Yeah, oh, of course they had all kinds of. I'm sure they had knobs and levers and bells and whistles and all kinds of cool stuff in there. Bad Harry Nick, I'll drop over and give you a hand for a weekend. Oh, there you go, Nick. There you go. Careful what you ask for. Dan Martin, I'm thinking of replacing the entire wheelhouse on the opposite side. This time, I bought all the convertible bracing and removed the part I'm not going to use it and send it to Sandblaster. That might be a good choice. Nick, I would welcome it. Sucker would probably be finished after the weekend. JRF and DE Restorations, thanks for the videos. I've been following for a while. Do the same stuff on the side. Thanks, man. You're welcome. I'm glad it helps. 777, I just love how little projects are the worst and eat up all your work time. Yeah, and that's like I'm saying, block sand. Just not exciting. But the color will be exciting. We get the color, we'll be onto something. Dan Martin, I kept the filler panel on the bracing I bought because the aftermarket bracing is too wide. Have you tried replacing the filler panel with an aftermarket on a 6970 coupe or convertible? I have not. Sorry. Camaro for life. You're welcome. Dave Moore. Did my first round of block sanding on the weekend. Went pretty good. 1 or 2 more coats. May have it as flat. I found block sanding to be kind of therapeutic. Thanks, Barry. Yeah, I mean, it can be. It can be. But it's also just kind of, ooh. Hello all from Brailsford's Rides. Glad you're here. Thomas English Wing Warrior. No, it isn't. Talking about, I'm not sure what that was. Henrique Mendez. Hello, guys. Glad you're here. Willie Goodman, late to the party. Good evening, all. I'm glad you're here. Okay, let me see where we're at on other things. I do have something I want to bring up that I think might be interesting. And I went today to look at a 68 coupe. I talked before about looking at a 67 coupe that had some work done to it. It was at my friend's body shop. The guy was asking way too much money for that car. And I think he's way in over his head and doesn't realize what it takes to build one of these cars. Coffee. So I had made him an offer on the car, and he apparently didn't want to sell it for that price, so passed it. However, I was browsing today, and a 68 coupe showed up. It's only been up for about a day, and it wasn't too far from me. And I messaged the guy, and I said, I'd like to come look at it. He said, sure, come on by. And so he did. So I did. Let me show you what I bought. Don't tell my wife. All right. This is the car I picked up. It's a V8 car. I haven't picked it up yet. I made the deal on it. I have not picked it up yet, but I made the deal on it. 68 car, V8. I think it's a 3-speed manual car. Yeah, it has the clutch pedals in it. The story goes that if you look at it, look, my fingers are down there. If you look at it, it's got a 4-lug wheel in the back, and it has disc brakes up front. The disc brake setup is from a Granada. Not going to be worried about that or use it probably. They swapped in the 4-lug rear end. Somebody did. From another car that the guy had, which was a 6-cylinder 67 convertible that was pretty beat up. And so in the process, somebody pulled the rear end out of the 67 convertible and the rear end out of the 68 coupe because they were going to do a V8 conversion swap type thing. So I don't have the V8 rear end. And that's what I have right now is what you see. So anyway, this is going to be coming home in the next week or so. I was very surprised at the roof is in great shape. The doors are in great shape. The quarters are actually in great shape. The rockers are good. Frame rails are good in the back, everything. The only real damage to the car is the core support and the right front apron, as far as, like from a wreck, and the floor pans. Now, the debate is going to be, what do I do with it, right? What do I do with it? Here's another shot from the other side. What do I do with it? Now, we've talked about it, and this may go into further discussion, but we had talked about converting one of these to a fastback. The problem I'm going to have is it's probably in too good a shape to do that. I may still consider it, but I don't know for sure. It is in really, to me, it's more solid than Jade as far as the quarters and doors and everything. The deck lid is messed up. It'll need a different deck lid, which I have. The wing windows in the front, the outside looks great, but the inside's all pitted, which is weird. I have more pictures of it, but I can't share them with you. They're on my phone at the moment. So anyway, that's something else. I made the deal on it, and I'm just gonna get it here, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens. But if it becomes a fastback, it might not. There was some, and this is something I'm only bringing this up because it was suggested to me by somebody else earlier today. The idea of doing a GoFundMe type thing. I'm only bringing that up because, again, somebody else had brought it up and said maybe you could do a GoFundMe to fund the project. And that may be what happens. I don't know yet. I've never dealt with GoFundMe. I don't know how all that works. But it may be, hey, I'm going to need, X amount of money to buy the parts to do video series on this car. We'll see. I'm not guaranteeing anything. Nothing's in writing. It's just, I have another coupe. That's all I need to know. I really wanted to get one. And I like the, to me, I like the 67 to 68 body more probably than the 65 or 6, and definitely the fastbacks are more, what I like. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Ish. Oh, on that T-Bird, you can slide the steering wheel to your right in order to exit the car. It's a cool option. Yeah, that was always a cool thing. Nick, I need to try and get something done. Have a good night, Harry, and there has to be a Larry. Caden is Larry, and my other brother Larry. Nick saying, Bad Harry saying, Nick, get it done. Dan Martin, I'm replacing the entire body on the 70 Shelby. Quarters, skins, firewall, floorboards, core support, etc., etc. Lots of spot weld cutting. I highly recommend the Steck Seam Buster. Have you used? I have the hand, I don't have like an air chisel one. I do have the hand, Steck Seam Buster. So yeah. Brendan, Garage, New Zealand. Hi, Barry. Love my new job as a vehicle inspector. Just finished inspecting a 1967 Mustang coupe that was imported from the USA last year. Cool. Very cool. 64 and a half saying Frankenstein. Well, maybe that'll be the new name for it. Who knows? Jack, what's the final color for the 68 Mustang? I may have missed it. Has it been asked? Jade is going to be the original color, Gulfstream Aqua. So you can see it. I've left it on the kick panels. I know on purpose. That's the original color on the kick panels. And I did that because part of me wants to see what the color looks like from out of the can, the new can, when I get to that area. But Gulfstream Aqua is the answer. Dave Conville, don't tell my wife. So you are the one that the Dear Eloise article is about. Yes. Yep. Oh boy, lots of comments. Robert, evening all that looks like my kind of project car. Yeah. Paul, looks like a donor car. Well, it's actually in better shape than you think. Fastback conversion. Paul says, sell me the seats. Cheryl says, nice Mustang. 64 and a half. Your new purchase looks way better than what our old, I guess, than that old gold donor car anyways. Oh, talking about the 65 that I cut up for the drip rail. Tony, I vote fastback. Yeah. Octagon, does a 62 Thunderbird have the tilt weight? Yeah, that was answered earlier. Yes, it does. Tail, is back pressure a myth? No, it's a real thing. You have to have some back pressure. Rick, do you remember the retractable hardtop conversion Mustangs used to sell years back? Retractable hardtop. I think I may have, but I've never seen one, but I may have seen pictures. 777 little work, and that's a good flip. That's another, who knows? You never know. Toothless, I hope one day you work on a Chevy Nova 350 hatchback. Those are getting hard to find. Actually. Bad Harry, cool. I like the fastback idea. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Dan Martin, the problem would be that building fastback out of a coupe is too expensive for parts, and I think it would be hard to sell. Too much risk for your buck. Well, I would not. For me, the way I look at it, I would not build the whole car. I would do just the conversion, just the sheet metal. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to do the glass. None of that stuff. It would be onto somebody else. And ideally, let's say I did a conversion, right? I built a car, and then somebody else bought it as a display piece. What they do with it from there is up to them. Just saying. Mason, hey Joe Jetty, what kind of? We're not going to ask about candy questions. Sorry. Jorge, they all look good till you start working on it and find things. Yes, that is true. Fastback conversion, Jack W says. Yeah. Harvey, the new Mustang looks like a blank canvas to me. Build what you want and enjoy it. Yeah. They're all kind of like blank canvases, but so I don't know exactly how I'm going to approach it yet. Ish, GoFundMe sounds like a great idea. I would contribute. Well, thank you for that. Jorge, fastback would be super cool. Yeah. Dave, I know what you mean, Barry, about cutting up something that has survived in good shape for all these years. Yeah, it's a difficult thing. Art Man, if the roof comes off, I think I need drip rails. If you don't, keep them for your own inventory. Good point. Very good point. Because that's one thing I looked at on this car really hard. I looked at the quarter panels. There's a couple dents in the quarters, but no rust. The trunk pans are great. It could use a one-piece centerpiece floor. I would rather do that than panels. I think it would be a nice video to do that part. Might need some kick panel up on the firewall or just a new firewall. And just, a few other things. Yeah, let me get rid of that clown. Great. And the core support, right front apron, left apron's good. Left rear apron's good. Towers are good. So, yeah, who knows? Let's see. Bad Harry, how do you like the wide body kits? They look cool on the coupes. I have not really researched the wide body kits very much. I mean, I may have seen them, but not really paid much attention to them. But they do look, they make the car look totally different when you do that stuff. Rick Gain, rest of mod with modern Coyote driveline and electronics with classic look for the 68. Well, that may be. But again, I've mentioned it before. My plan is, honestly, I don't want to do a full build anymore. Unless it's for me. I just don't want to do that right now. So I would rather do sheet metal work, get it in primer, maybe, that sort of thing. Maybe not even do body filler. Just get all the sheet metal work done and pass it on. So, I just don't want to get into carpet and wiring and all the extras that are involved with putting a car together. So anyway, it could be a great project. I know that from what people have said, they've not seen a good video series on a fastback conversion. Well, maybe that's worth doing. I don't know yet. At this point, I've got to get I got to get Jade and paint. I'm not sure where we're at with the whole convertible deal. Lots of things to think about on that. But anyway, Bad Harry, Coyote Swap, not cheap. See, that's the thing. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to do the Coyote Swap. Not even in my wheelhouse. Rick, build the 68 with all the safety options and save it for your grandson. Maybe. I don't think he can pay the bills, though. I got to be able to pay the bills. That's the hard part. Bad Harry asked me how I know. Yeah, it's about the Coyote Swap. Yep. 64, Shane, right? Put a 5-lug rear end in it, a crazy fast engine, and take it to the track. That could be the option too. Just fix the floor pan, piece it together, and go have some fun with it. But it's just something to think about. Now, I'm still looking if I can find, or I'm not 100% sure what else may come out of this. I know he also had a 67 coupe that was pretty hacked up. As far as it was like used at a school or something, like they had practiced putting panels on and cutting things off, and it still had potential, but it would make the better candidate for doing a fastback conversion because it's already kind of messed up. But this, like I said, this one just, yeah. I mean, I don't know what it has the recessed taillights in it, so it has to be a later production 68. Of course, the chrome's bad, the bumpers and all that sort of thing, taillights, normal stuff. But the stuff that matters to me is more of the structural stuff, and it's not bad. It's just not bad. Thomas English put a diesel in it. Yeah. Yeah. Dave could have fun as an autocross car, but they cost money too. Yes. Yeah, and I don't need to think of ways to spend money. I can do that pretty easily. I need to think of ways to make money. That's the reality. 777 wife will prefer making money. Yes. Bad Harry, do a quick flip and take the money and find a fastback to restore. And that is another consideration. I don't know yet. I know I can take care of a lot of the sheet metal stuff and get it decent. But yeah, those are things that are crossing my mind. So right now, the thing is, I just need to get it here, get it under cover, and not worry about it. Focus on everything else that's in my way. Clark put an 8.8 rear Explorer rear end in it. Yes, that would be great. Dave Britton, was it priced really well? I think so. I think it was a good price. It was a good price. Rusty, speaking of chrome, what is the easiest way to remove chrome from a severely rusted bumper? I am going to paint body color anyway. I've not tried that. I've not tried that. So I don't know if people have ground it off. My thoughts were take sanding disc, floppy disk, and try to grind that chrome off. If it's got a heavy rusting, it's going to probably have heavy pitting. And then you have to wonder, are you going to try to make it smooth? Those are some of the things that come out into the idea of making it paintable. What condition is the glass in? It's all there. I know that much. It's got all the glass. And it looks decent. I did not really pay much attention to the windshield. I know it's intact. No hood, which is not a big deal. I think some of the front grill area is messed up. But I'm more focused on the body itself, the shell, and what can happen with it. Dan Martin, it's an early 64.5. Why not build an electric car? Would that be cool or what? Okay. Greg Workshop checking in. Let's see. Rusty's saying sandblast. Maybe. I'll have to get a good look at it and see what's possible. 64. Do you find these often in Georgia? Hard to find in PA. I do not find them very often. I was surprised. I mean, I've been tracking several that I found on like Marketplace, and as I was tracking those, this one popped up, and it only been up for about a day. So it was funny though. I didn't mention who I was or anything. I just said I'd come take a look at it, and when I got there, he said, "Are you Joe Daddy's Garage?" I said, "Yeah, I am." He was like, he actually was kind of happy that I was buying it because he said, "I'll know you'll do something with it." So that worked out really nice. Dave, acid bath works good for removing chrome. So there's an answer from Dave for the chrome question. Robert, a new glass kit is around $500. Smoked is about $550. Are you talking about for a coupe? Or are you talking about just for a fastback? So I don't know. I've not researched the glass. Bad Harry, rusty fiberglass bumpers are cheap and easy to paint. Check out US Body. There you go. Games Original. Dave Brittenberry, did you see the pair of coupes 67 and 68 in your area on Craigslist? No, I have not. I haven't looked at Craigslist in a long, long time. It's just not been. I've had such bad luck with Craigslist over there. I mean, I used to have good luck with Craigslist, and then I started getting to the point where I would find something, I'd email the person or message them or call them, no response, no, I'd seen ads up for weeks and weeks and weeks, nothing. So I kind of just got bored with the Craigslist and started looking on like Marketplace. Coffee's almost cold. Robert, coupe that's for the coupe. We'll check on the fastback. Yeah, I'm sure the fastback glass is going to be quite a bit more expensive. And there's more involved with that too. Doing the conversion is one thing, but again, let's say somebody had a Rusty Hulk, fastback. It's up to them if they bought like a converted fastback from me and then did whatever they wanted with it on their end. Not me, that's them. If they have all the trim and all the glass and all that stuff, well, then they get a good solid car, and they're way ahead of the curve. So, but we'll see how that goes. What else was there? Oh, yeah. Anyway, so as I mentioned earlier, I'm planning on. I may have mentioned, I don't know. I was talking about block sanding and all that stuff with the car, and I want to get some seam sealer stuff going on that. And then next video, I want to get on the high build, second round of high build on Jade. And I hope I have some good information for everybody on the seam sealing, because I use it's is it Evercoat? Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold that thought. Yeah, Evercoat. I use the Evercoat brushable seam sealer. So hopefully I can give you some insight, into using this stuff to where it works out good for you. And again, I have to get that block sanding done. 64, Robert, is that all the glass or just front and back windshields? So that's a good question. Greg says, hi, sand and paint. Yes. Ish, have you considered making it a roadster with a detachable fastback top? No. No, I have not. I've seen those, and they're cool, but I can't. Just not something I probably want to build. Jeff, JK Mustang, JK66 Mustang. Thank you, man. Thank you much. That is much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that more than you know. I'll say that honestly. Robert, kit is for all the glass, looking for the card for the glass guys. That's a good price, honestly. If it's for all the glass on a coupe and it's smoked, yeah, that's a good price. $550, I think is what he said. New glass kit is around $500. Smoked is about $550. That's a good price. That is a real good price. I like that. That's good information. Don Martin, lots of early car collectors. I'd be tempted on making your 64.5 a 64.5. My buddy has complete 260 drivetrain with a T10 4-speed 5-volt engine, number correct bell housing, etc. I'd be tempted on making your. I don't have a 64.5. I'm not sure where that's coming from. That car I'm showing you, that is a 68. That's a 68 coupe. And it's a late production 68 because it has the indented or the recesses on the quarter panels. So sorry if there's any confusion on that. Let me pull that back off real quick. Yeah. Yeah, the thing with the 64.5, I mean, it's its own animal, really. They changed a lot of things in 65 just to make it better, in some ways. I think the 64.5 actually had, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it had a generator. I think it had horns mounted down low on the bottom of the car, and the opening on the core support was different. Just some odd things, and they realized, hey, we can improve this, and they shuffled things around, moved the horns, converted it to alternator, and different things like that. And I think there's some other differences, and I don't know all of them. I've not looked. I think I've only seen one in person, one unrestored 64.5, and it had a lot of issues. It was in pretty bad shape, and that was one I did. Somebody contacted me and says, "Hey, could you go look at a car for me and tell me, if it's worth buying?" And I happened to be able to work that out, and so I went and looked at the car, and it turns out the car was so rusted that it was a similar condition to like the Brooklyn Pony, only it was a coupe. And once I told him about all that, he was like, "Oh, never mind," because they wanted like $10,000 for this car, and it was you might as well just been buying a VIN number. Willie Goodman, do you plan to make a video when you do the seam sealing? Yes. And that's what I was saying. Once I'm satisfied with this round of block sanding, and I still have the tail panel and the cowl and a few other odd pieces or filler to sand, I will continue that video with seam sealing certain areas. Now, a lot of it is really simple. For the most part, I just use like an acid brush or a chip brush. Acid brush is kind of small, but if you use like a chip brush, if you know what I'm talking about, like if I go to like a Lowe's or something, and you can buy these little wooden brushes cheap. You can take these and cut them down, dip them in, and brush a lot of that, the seams, because it would have had a brushed kind of look to it, or depending on what they use, like in some areas it's like pumped in, so it would have piled up and made a bubbly shape. But a lot of your overlap stuff, it was just brushed on. So I will replicate that as best I can. I'm not looking for original on that sort of thing. But then there's other areas where you have the seams where the quarter and the deck filler panel meet. Well, if you work that area and you're trying to take care of all that, you dig out that whatever was in there from the factory, the seam sealer, and you want to fill that back in. Well, you're not going to take a brush and just swipe it in there because you'll end up with it all over the place. But I'll go into detail on that. Usually, I tape it up and take care of it, and then remove the tape, and it usually turns out really nice. So there will be more detail on that. 64, yes, mine is 64 and a half and has all the things you said, Barry. Yeah. I mean, it's a unique thing. Dave, the ignition coil on the 64 and a half was mounted to the intake manifold, not to the front of the engine. All kinds of little details. Yeah. And I don't know them all. I just know that there's definitely differences. 64 and a half is its own thing. And that becomes, the challenge of, well, this is the first generation, first model, first thing. And some people really do want to see them like they were in that sense. And then 65 and 6, of course, they have their own little variations just to make them a little different. But I think it's, the 64 and a half, because it's so unique, to me, I'd rather keep it that way, rather than modify it and make it into more of a, like 65. Dave Britton, got to run. See you. Thanks for your help tonight, Dave. Appreciate it. Ish, did the 64 and a half bring the Sprint 6-cylinder engine? I owned one that when I removed the horn cap, there was another cap underneath. It was with the Sprint logo on it. Ever heard of this? Interesting. I don't know. So that's a good question. Did the 64 and a half bring the Sprint 6-cylinder engine? I own one that when I removed the horn cap, there was another cap underneath it with the Sprint logo on it. Ever heard of this? No. I'm not familiar with it. Not familiar with it. Okay, so I don't know if I could. Well, maybe I can, Robert. If that's a regular picture? Let me see if I can pull that in. I don't know if it'll work. We'll find out. All right. Let me see what I have on my. Gordon Cahoon, man. Thank you. You're making it a good night. I need that. Thank you, man. I appreciate that very, very much. I really do. I really, really do. Robert, okay, send a pic. Let's see what this says. Boom. Boomsy. Okay, so 64 to 73 Mustang. Yeah, there's the prices right there. So 64 to 68 Mustang hardtop, original tint $499, gray tint $550. Interesting. And that's a full package. 65, 68 Mustang fastback. Is this up to date, Robert? Because I didn't think you could get a fastback glass that cheap. What company is that? You need to give me more information on that. Those are some great prices, really. I think. I don't know what that company is. Let me see what Robert says. I need the smoke kit for the 66, but no funding for glass at this time. I mean, that sounds. What company is that? Give me some information on that. Again, thanks for the donations tonight, all of you. Let's see, Rick Ain. I didn't think the Sprint came out until 66. That may be, and maybe they had swapped it into the 64. Let's see, Willie. Really early Mustangs did use some Falcon parts, I believe. Some have found Falcon badge under the Mustang on the steering wheel. Pretty cool. Interesting. Good observation. Or good information, I should say. Richard, The factory used a lot of Falcon Sprint parts on the 64.5 Stangs. Let me change this up here a little bit. See if I can. It's very possible. I know some steering wheels got out with Falcon steering wheels. That would be interesting. If you bought a Mustang and it actually had a Falcon logo or something on it that they forgot to cover up, that would be kind of a unique find. Oh, speaking of unique finds, I think it was Dave. Dave, was you that sent me? Okay, Dave says the early Falcons had a sprint package, so the horn button was taken from the Ford parts bin, common for 64.5 cars. Interesting. I don't know if I had those pictures up here or not. I think it was Dave that sent me that, maybe. Apparently in the 68 Camaros or some generation of Camaros, they actually had a canister. Maybe I did share this before. Really odd configuration. They had a canister mounted in the wheelhouse for winter. So you had a button you could spray a chemical onto the tires to help it get traction. One of those oddball things that you don't really see. And if you found one of those cars that still had those in there, somebody would go, "Oh, what is this? Throw it away." But really, if it had it in, it was a dealer installed item. That's a rarity. That'd be a really rare thing to find. But Harry, you can get the glass cheap, but you need all the hardware around the side windows are expensive. Very good point. Very good point. Robert from the last swap meet, it is the big glass guy that travels to swap meets. They do glass and radiators. Looking for the business card right now. Okay. Dave Conville says, "Oops, Richard Byrne beat me to it." Yep. Ish, I sent an email with info on Sprint Mustangs. Okay. James Smothers, ECS Automotive Concept has quality glass and have it date, I guess coded, not voted, but date coded. Thank you, James. Keep that in mind. ECS Automotive Concept has quality glass and they have it date coded. That would be really cool. 64 reminds of a later 64 with 5-bolt block, 289 decode 4-barrel. Well, that's cool. Rusty's Mustang Garage. Weld and sealant manuals. The engineering drawings are titled Special Falcon. That's interesting. Special Falcon. Let me see. So from what Ish sent me, it said, and this is from CJ Pony Parts, the Sprint Edition Mustang was targeted towards female car buyers to help boost six-cylinder sales in the late 60s. This edition Mustang was available in a coupe, convertible, and fastback with the option to select manual or automatic transmission. Interesting. Dave Condon, wasn't me who sent the article about the spray, but I've seen it. I think it was a 69 GM cars only. And Art Man is saying liquid tire chains. Yeah, I don't remember who sent it to me. It might have been Tim Bowman. But it was interesting. It had these canisters and then had like a pump system. And it would spray, junk onto your tires. Which reminds me of growing up in Pennsylvania, right? We had snow and ice and whatever. Our school buses were equipped with ash spreaders, ASH, ashes. They would spread ashes from like coal furnaces. We'd have leftover ash from the coal furnaces, and they had these canisters that were mounted in the front of the rear wheels. And it had two chutes that came down, and they had a lever that they would pull, and it would release the ash in front of the tires so that the bus could get traction on the snowy roads. It was short-lived. I mean, and it was almost like a retrofit. I don't know who came up with it, but it was interesting. But I remember those, and I also remember all of us getting out of the school bus to push it because it was stuck. Rick, being legally blind, can you explain how do you date code glass? It actually is. There's a number that is on the glass itself. I think I showed it I showed a number on the glass for Jade when I pulled the windshield out. They were it was the one I had was like handwritten, but I think they had like a rubberized stamp that would put it in the corner of the glass. It may not have been obvious, outside of the trim area. It would have been underneath like the rubber gasket. And anyway, so it was just a way of them to identify, I guess, when it was put in. I don't know for sure, but they did have some sort of a number on it. Dan Martin, do you know where I can find the missing pages in the weld manual for the A-pillars on a 69 to 70 Mustang? The index has them on pages that are not in the orange paper manual. No, I don't know. Do you know where I can find the missing pages in the weld manual? No, so I don't. Maybe somebody else does. Bad Harry, how much would you pay for a fastback in about the same condition as a coupe you just bought? How much would I pay, or how much are they selling them for? Is probably the question. For me to find a coupe or a fastback in that shape, I mean, I've seen those in that condition. Honestly, I've seen people getting or selling them or trying to sell them for $8,000 to $12,000 just because it's a fastback. So, but what would I pay for one like in that shape? I mean, I can't say that I would give $4,000 for it, because it is a fastback. But I've seen people, they're asking outrageous numbers for the fastbacks. James, my 67 was a Sport Sprint original 289 with chrome air cleaner on it. That's cool. Dan Martin, yeah, I see that. I knew it when I said that. That's why I was very clear in what I was saying about spreading ashes. Robert, I'll have to dig through all my business cards and try to find the glass guy card. If not, they're always at Pate, which is April 22nd, and I will be there. May try to sell the 289 there. Probably a good choice. Dan Martin, there goes your YouTube account. Yeah. Yep. Getting more clowns. I don't understand why we end up with these clowns. Okay. Ricky Lynn, great pick for dating the glass. Thank you, Barry. You're welcome. Rick, I really enjoy these streams, but it makes me really want my car back. Yeah, I understand that. All right. Plain Warrior Dave, thank you for being here. Okay, I'm getting rid of a couple clowns. They're trying to get back in. Willie Goodman, I think you might be onto something with just doing the sheet metal work, then passing it on might get more people. Yeah, and that's my plan. I mean, it's just, cars that are doing a full build or whatever, man, just time. And a quicker turn is doing the sheet metal and moving on, and that's what my wheelhouse is sheet metal. I love doing the sheet metal work. I really do. So Ricky Lynn says, great tip. Sorry, Barry, auto spelling. Okay. No problem. Robert, I look away for 20 seconds and that stuff pops up. Yeah. Yep. They're at it again. I don't understand it. Mario says, how's your day? Well, it's been pretty good so far. Ricky Lynn, can't stay. Sorry, hubby has stage 4 pancreatic and liver cancer, so I haven't had time to watch. Love your videos. Take care. Thank you for being here, Ricky. Appreciate that. And all the best to your husband. Seriously. Whisper, what you think about the Viper? You mean like the Dodge Viper? I mean, it's a performance car. They're built for speed. About all I can say. I mean, I've never driven one, so I don't have much feedback I can give you on that. Man, Robert, you're getting workout. I can tell. Ish, I paid $4,000 for my rust-free 66 convertible shell. Did I pay too much? Nope. Not if it's a rust-free. Not at all. That's a good deal. 64 must be clown day. Yeah. Yeah. Need more monitors tonight. Well, I mean, it's just a matter of time. You know, it pops up, and sometimes you just can't do anything about it. I'm trying to get them out, but you know, there's a lot of pathetic people on the planet who just don't have a life, and you know, Whisper, you're a really kind person. Well, thank you for that. Seamus, what is this spamming? Yeah, I know, but it's because it's a live stream, and they want to get on here and, hey, look at me, I'm a clown, yay. I'll probably let's see, trap. What's louder, 2015 straight pipe RT or straight pipe 2015 Mustang GT? Couldn't tell you. I don't do much with straight pipe, so I couldn't tell you. Yeah, Willie. Need to get a life. Yep. Okay. Well, you know what? Okay, so what Whisper says, I just watched a video about Dodge Viper, and I got your video, so I asked. Oh, well, thank you for that. I mean, it's a performance car. They're made to go fast and have fun in, but I haven't been in one, so I can't really give much of an answer. Okay. Well, I know I have 92 people watching, but I think I'm probably just gonna call it a night anyway. I'm just these people are showing up here and ruining the night, but my throat's starting to hurt. I've talked about it before. I get some sort of a weird pain going on in the side of my throat, and that's usually all I need to tell me that, hey, it's time to call it a night. So anyway, I'm glad you all were here. Sorry about these clowns that are showing up. I wish there was an easy way to block these people, but I'm just going to have to call it a night anyway. Whisper, will Dodge return to the production of these cars? Not the Viper. I think they're done with the Viper. They're doing too good with the Challenger and the Charger. So anyway, thanks for being here. I'm going to work on having another video out for Friday, and it'll be, hopefully I can get all the block sanding done and finish up seam sealer, like I said, and get the next, that'll be the end of that video. But anyway, I'm glad you're all here, and I apologize, and I know it's not my fault, but it's just thank you, Ben. I appreciate that. Every bit counts. Every little bit counts, and I appreciate everybody helping to keep us going. So anyway, I'll be back on Thursday. I don't know yet. I may do another live stream, where I'm doing repair work on something. I'm not sure yet. Also, I'm going to make a video, and I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to put it on this channel or my workshop channel, but I'm going to replace the fluorescent lights in the paint booth with LED lights. So I have a box sitting here on the floor of 12 count. Just sit right here. So brand new LEDs. That's what I have in the main shop. So I'm going to put those in the back, and I don't know if I'll put it on this channel or my workshop channel, but I'll make a video doing that as well. But I'm going to call it a night. And again, thank you for being here and participating. And, it's more enjoyable if we don't have clowns, but hey, we do what we do. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.